This video is to give you a quick rundown of how to remove a popcorn ceiling. I've done this around the house a couple of times now, so I'm getting a little bit faster at it and getting some tips here to help you out. So this part of the bathroom's already been scraped. And step one is cover anything you don't want to get junk all over. So you can see I put that door's a keeper. It's really about the only thing in this room that's a keeper. The walls themselves are going to be taken down and new sheetrock going up, and because we're reconfiguring some things in this bathroom. So, and this tub's coming out, so don't really need to cover it because it's all coming out. Once you get everything covered that you want to not get junk and debris on, then the first step I do is dry scrape. So I take a little 6-inch putty knife like this, and it's pretty flimsy, it's not a real stiff one, and I just dry scrape popcorn. So as you can see, I'm kind of knocking, you can see where I've scraped and not scraped, I'm kind of knocking the tips and part of the paint. So I'm going to go through, dry scrape this whole room, and then we'll go to the next step, which is spraying a little bit of water and then scraping it again. All right, I've dry scraped the whole room now. As you can see, there's lots of aggregate piled up here in the tub that's come off. But you know, I don't know if you can see how the knife is, putty knife is pretty smooth. Some people actually, I think, stop here, and then if they're spraying back with a knockdown finish, and just go right over it. I am going to do a knockdown finish, but to keep the texture the same of what I've done before, I want to do the next step, which is to wet the material. So, got a little squirt bottle with some just water, and I'm going to douse it really good. So really, this is a 25-ounce bottle. I probably would use almost the whole bottle on a small bathroom like this, so to let you know about how much water I'm using. Just spray and let it sit. So you gotta let it sit for a little bit, and what the water is soaking in through these little areas where it's been scraped off. Let that water soak in there a little bit. Sometimes you gotta do 2 coats because some of it, when it hits on the paint there, it just doesn't really absorb. And let it soak, and then it should scrape off pretty easy. So we'll come back and probably let it soak for a few minutes, maybe like 2 minutes, spray another light coat of water, let it soak for 30 seconds, and then start scraping. So this little gizmo I picked up at a home improvement store. It's designed for a popcorn scraper. Put a grocery bag on there. It'll kind of catch this next portion, this wet paint layer is a little bit goopy. So let's see here. Up here like so. Get it started. Alright, so it's not coming off too easy, and that's not coming off too easy. I'm gonna wet it some more and let it soak for another minute or two. All right, I've added a little more water. Let's see how we do now. Oh yeah. A lot easier on that slide. A lot easier on that one. And then it scrapes off this paint layer, and whatever else aggregate was left. comes right off. And if it's not coming off good, that's an area I just need to add a little more water and let it sit a little bit longer. One more tip here on the edges. There, if you know the way your sheetrock's put together, there's actually tape. There's a tape that comes out this way and this way that runs this whole corner and gets mud over it. I don't really want to remove the tape off this side necessarily, especially if you're keeping your sheetrock. Most of the sheetrock's gonna end up coming out in this bathroom particularly, but if you were keeping your sheetrock, you don't wanna mess with that tape joint. So when you're scraping here near the corner, don't worry about getting it too smooth down here, because if you try to, you'll dig into that tape and that mud. So just kind of don't get it perfect and just leave a little bit. Doesn't have to be as clean as you get the rest of the ceiling. Just be, yeah, so right there, that looks pretty good. That's fine. I don't want to dig any deeper than that because I don't want to dig into that tape. And then I'll go after I get all of it looking like that and let it dry for a day, because there is a little bit of moisture on the sheetrock. But if you got the air conditioning going and stuff, it dries out pretty quick. And then I'll come back when I'm ready. I'll do a light skim coat to kind of smooth out that edge. I'll be smoothing out little nail holes like this. I'll do a little skim coat over those. And then when I come back with my knockdown finish, it'll look great. All right, it's completely scraped now. At least that's as close as I can get it. You can see there's a little bit on the edges that I don't completely get. Like right there, you can see the tape. I don't want to get into that tape. Try to stay off of that. And now I'll come back and skim coat some of the rough patches, little nail spots like that. Try to get everything nice and smooth. But usually one light skim coat over the rough spots, and then a light sanding, and then I'll do a knockdown finish and paint it.